So before we do the Dr. Stone video today, we've got to take a look at Poppy Cat here. She is Best Cat. As you are guys are well aware, since you've obviously seen my room tour video, she is Best Cat. How you doing, girl? You ready to be entranced by what's happening? Oh great, now you come out of the shot. Thank you, Poppy, you've ruined the opening sketch. Hello everyone, Luke here, and if you saw the opening little skit there, yeah, Poppy, my cat, was on my bed, so I figured I'd just include her in the review, and she obviously had a psychic link, like, oh, Luke is getting busy to do something, I better go upstairs, so she's gone upstairs now, and I just thought that would be fun, funny, to just get her involved in the video first. But anyway, before we actually get into the actual review itself, I want to give a quick shout out to Anne Van Leeuwen. I think I've pronounced that right. I apologise if I haven't, and if you're watching this video, please comment if I got that right or wrong. But anyway, this is in response to what I was saying about the weapon that Ryusui and Senku had that was taken from Yo. So apparently, what it was that they took Yo's weapon, as we saw at the end of the last chapter, but they had a fake machine gun, so it's kind of like a baton that they had that kind of looks like a machine gun without actually being a machine gun. So yeah, that was my bad on it. So it was actually just a blunt weapon that they were trying to pretend was an actual machine gun. So big thanks to them for pointing that out for me. And also to obviously Party Jams, probably one of my biggest commenters at the moment, who basically said the same thing, that Ryusui had a club, but they were faking it to be a machine gun. But also they mentioned that the character that I couldn't remember the name of was actually a mangaka, whose name is Tetsuyu Kimito. So I'm just going to call him Kimito from now on, just that character. So massive thanks to them, and I love the fact that I'm getting more comments now on my videos. That's making me feel really comfortable about my ability to actually talk more about Dr. Stone in general, and I'm really loving it. And also I believe that the next chapter comes out this Friday, so that'll be coming out at some point next week, and then hopefully at some point either next month I'll be doing like another sit and talk video as well, and also doing another Otaku's introduction, because there's one series that I'm looking at right now on my shelf that I honestly want to talk about. Just want to give a brief introduction to as well, but that's all we've got to talk about right now. So for now, let's just dive right into the review. Alright, so this will be chapter 165, titled Know the Rules, Make the Rules. Although personally, I would have liked to have had on the end of that, screw the rules because we have science. You give a bridge reference there. Now, I'm hoping that he gets on to season 5 at some point. I know he's busy with his own personal life, but I really, really want to see him do Siegfried from the Grand Championship for the Art, because that character is just made for an abridged series. But anyway, the chapter starts off with pretty much from the end of the last chapter, Ryusui is locking on with Yo's gun and saying, "We've got Stanley Snyder's rear in our sights. Ha! This is our chance to end this battle. He mess this up and there won't be a next time." Because obviously, yeah, well, you've only got one shot at this to get at Stanley, because if you mess this up, everyone on the ground there is kind of screwed themselves. And yeah, they're like, yeah, no need to state the obvious. And we move on to the battle as we see Kimito going, this is a really funny bit with Kimito and Yusubiya, because they basically do that. Thing where somebody thinks that they're sneezing, they go Gesundheit, but they're not actually sneezing, and Kimito goes Jinkining, and Yusubi is like Gesundheit, and they're continually watching the battle as they make the observation that Stanley is purposely making this plane go wild, which obviously does make sense because he can tell that he's got a gun locked on him. So the only way to get out of this now is to just go completely wild so that they can't actually get a clear shot of him. as everyone is discussing the actual battle that's going on in the sky, with many of them saying, once they get rid of this standing guy, the sky's ours. But yeah, we can't. If they lose in this battle, we're kind of screwed up. Oh, really? That's not doing that back and forth for each other. The people that are actually observing the battle. We go over to Masakise, who's basically on the deck of the Perseus aircraft, just observing the situation. As we get the captions, which go, with his strong sense of obligation to protect his lord, Ginru. I love that, like, is Lord Ginru, because it's like keeps reminding us of the fact that Ginru looks exactly like the Lord that Matsukaze has, and it's kind of hilarious how one of the most cowardly people in the series actually has a lackey that he can basically order around at any sort of point. But anyway, continuing on. The narration or caption or whatever goes, Matsukaze was practically vigilant. For that reason, he turned his focus to what lay beneath the aerial battle. However, Matsukaze could not have foreseen what was coming due to his lack of knowledge of humanity's 21st century technology. And this is where we get the big reveal of what Dr. Brody was actually working on. Now, many people theorise various things. Kontrolled Khaos theorised nuclear missiles, which were probably a bit of a stretch. I just wanted to be surprised by it. And thank you. I just want to say as well, big thanks to Party Jazz, because on Discord yesterday, which by the way, join the Kontrolled Khaos Discord. I'll link Kontrolled Khaos's YouTube channel in the description below. Go and join it if you want to come and talk to me personally. I'm not even joking here when I say this. I'm on there pretty much whenever I'm not doing my videos, or whenever I'm in here. Most of the time I'm on there. So if you want to come, and when you come in Chill Zone, if you want to come and talk to me, you're more than happy to. I'm always happy to talk to people like Party Drums. If I'm talking to you directly here, if you want to come and talk to us, just come and chat in Chill Zone. Even if you don't wanna like directly speak to us, and you feel more comfortable with just typing out, that's what the Chill Zone chat's for, to just type out. So if you want to actually hear our thoughts directly from our mouths, come and join us on there. But yeah, big thanks to him for not bringing this up, because he was like mentioning the fact that actually there was a lot of references to what the actual device was, which I'm just going to say it right now. It was a submarine. We all live in a yellow submarine, and I hope it's yellow, the colour of this submarine. But yeah, he said that there was a lot of references to it actually being a submarine. I'll bring it up right now if I can just go to the Dr. Page. Here we go. This is what Party Jam says. For anyone wondering what those hints were, Hyoga mentioned Sinu's best strategy was to use a small water vessel. Ryusui said there was multiple front war at land, air and sea. And the remaining suggested a sea attack. Chrome was building an under vehicle vessel, but the most obvious one was the actual colour page on chapter 162, which I will bring up here for anyone who needs a reference. What was this right here? That right there, the actual submarine itself, and I completely blanked on that, and like I don't know why I was being an idiot on that front. But yeah, thanks for pointing that out, guys. You guys are awesome. So let's continue. As we see Sino and his crew approaching the Perseus, we actually get them actually looking out and thinking like, what's going on here? What's going on here? As we see Mayamiya actually spots it, that it's actually being a submarine. They're like, is that a submarine? No way! As the narration goes, as long as one isn't looking to deep dive under the ocean, constructing a basic submarine is as simple as putting a lid on top of a boat, so to speak. Similar homemade submarines have been used by cartels for smuggling purposes, which I actually didn't know that. So that's actually quite an interesting little bit of history that I kind of found out from this series. But anyway, it's just like, before I could even think about this, we see that Senior has not only built a submarine but also like a bomb that could shoot from the top, that could shoot from like the tip of his submarine, fires it at the Perseus, just completely obliterates like a portion of the Perseus, which I hope the Perseus survives this. I really hope they survive this because it is a kick-ass ship, and I just want them to travel all around the world, maybe making modifications to the Perseus like what they've done with the aircraft carrier, but also don't destroy the Perseus completely. At least not until the end of the series. Please, just don't do that. But anyway, we have no time to think about that, as Xenu showing how much of a badass he is. He's like, he is not fucking around here. Not only he blows up the Perseus, but also he gets some of like the big bold bruisers of his company to jump onto the Perseus and start hacking and slashing it as we see one of the characters who has like an X on his face, similar to what Xenu has, and only he's a lot more big, brunette, and kind of has just a small portion of hair at the top and nothing else. But yeah, he's a big, brooding lad. And it's like, hands behind your head, kiss the floor, kiddos. Any funny business, and you'll be shot where you stand. And we see the woman that I like to consider Magma's waifu just appear before the power team. You know, the one who was like singing and crushing Gen's head to actually get him to talk a few chapters ago. And before they can even blink, pretty much a lot of the power team have actually been taken care of, including Magma, as they're like, clear. Hey Luna, that takeover took all of 10 seconds. Wow, it only took 10 seconds, yet Xenu is not fucking around here. Also, a side note, just before I continue, is that I'm amazed just how strong and how resilient these guys are, because literally, after the bomb blast on the Perseus, Xenu's crew are just like crashing through the smoke. They actually have the courtesy to have the knives, and they just slash away at the Perseus, basically at the control center. Like, you know how the Perseus has that control center where the wheel to actually control the Perseus is. They just slash that away, jump right in front of everyone, and just grab them in a mere 10 seconds. And I know I'm getting really excited here, but can you blame me? This chapter, oh, it's so good. Now, is it better than Chainsaw Man or Undead Unluck? I don't know, and you guys might have to actually have to work that out for yourselves. But yeah, this chapter is just, it's so good as well. But Chainsaw Man, I just want to go on a side note. Read Chainsaw Man. Seriously, just go and read it. You will not regret it. But I can't decide if Chainsaw Man, Undead Unluck, or Dr. Stone won this week for me in terms of the chance. But just the fact that we see that Xenu is actually moving forward with his plan and not fucking around. That's a big step up for me. But then we had Makima's motivation in Chainsaw Man, which is it's so good, so original as well. Well, when I say original, it's been done before, but the way it was done before was crap. This time it made a lot of sense. But seriously, yeah, just seeing these brutes just like, right, we're going to take over it. We've got our plan. We're going straight in and making sure our plan succeeds. Anyway, continuing on, we see Magma's waifu as she says that takeover took all of 10 seconds. Mind if I sing a song in celebration? As we see one of the brutes that are part of Xenu's personal power team going, please don't. And yeah, I've got to agree with him on that one. After, I can only imagine what that song's going to sound like in the anime, if it's actually going to be as bad or as tormenting as what Gen had to put himself through. Alright, continuing on, we move back into the actual aerial battle that's going on between Senku, Ryusui and Stanley, as we see, Ryusui going, we've got a deal, his impressive jerking maneuver. Deal with? Nah. We've forced him into this. Remember how we showed off that fake machine gun? This is a science battle. Stanley trades his speed for all of that ricking and rolling. So for this brief moment, he's going 10 billion% slow, which actually makes sense. The more things you have to focus on, you can have more. Yeah, it's basically stacking layer upon layer upon layer. So like the more things that you're trying to do and trying to focus on, the more that you also have to keep tabs on. And if you're just more focusing on the fact of trying to not get shot, And in order to do those moves, like you would have to like slow down to avoid like actually crashing into something. It's kind of the same thing with a car. Like in order to do like sharp turns and everything, you would kind of like need to slow down a little bit. Otherwise, you're going to end up crashing into things or just running over. So Seiku's using this to his advantage, as Kimito is really baffled and confused by the fact that they just shot up higher into the air as they go. Normal ascendancy would mean a relative loss of speed, but since Stanley was kind of slow, but was kind enough to slow down for us, we can make this climb while staying right on top of him. And Stanley's even questioning this as well. He's questioning like why the fact that they had him inside behind him. So why would they move like to be more overhead of him? And he's confused by that. And Ryusui even actually picks up on this. He's like, "You're thinking this makes no sense, Stanley? That may be true according to your familiar rules of the old world. However, here in this new world, the rules are made from scratch." So basically, they are doing the Kaiba from a Bridge series here. They're basically like saying like, yeah, this may have worked in the old world, but in this new world, we can basically say screw the rules because we have a plane here that needs testing out. So yeah, screw your old rules. We're making the new rules here. It's the equivalent of Kaiba going, yeah, I know there's rules and everything, but screw the rules because I am Sato Kaiba, bitches. Continuing on, Senku says, "The world's first ever dogfight was so primitive it bordered on idiocy. Just two guys tossing tools at each other. But we're able to make this battle a teeny bit more scientific as they call back to how they first took out the plane that they're using, that Stanley originally used, by using acetylene gas, harmless to people, but it can store energy. So basically, they're going with the same tactics that they used the first time, only using it in a much more clever way, because now they're actually engaged in battle in the sky with Stanley, so they have to be a little bit more intricate and innovative. As we see them get on top of him, and from what I can tell, but before we can actually see it, actually cuts to the Perseus and Mosu. But before we get into that part, we're going to talk about this part here. DIY accelerated gases from carpet bombing, as Senku just throws them out in an equivalent to throwing a petrol bomb at someone, because they're in glass bottles, in the same way that you would use a petrol bomb. As it's basically the equivalent of like bombs away, as the bombs basically explode before they even reach Stanley's plane. And Ryu's was like, "Looks like you know the old rules a little too well, Stanley." So anyway, the last part of the chapter basically coordinates with the actual sky battle. So while we're seeing the sky battle in the sky, we're seeing the battle on the Perseus, as we see one of Sinew's crew basically walking down the corridor of the Perseus below the bows of the ship, and he's like, there was someone there, as we see Mosu striking the ever creepy. Mosu just never ceases to amaze me, because he can go from being really childish when he first met Luna, like, she looks very pretty, to really sinister, like right here. Just look how sinister that guy looks. Seriously, he never ceases to amaze me. But he's like, haha, those mechanical gun things are your mightiest close combat weapons. And according to the rules, we're supposed to tremble in fear and surrender the second you point at them. I was correct, which is very true for him to actually say. He's basically looking down on these weapons, for lack of a better word, because he's not from the 21st century, so he has no idea what these weapons are really truly capable of. He's just got the very bare basics based on what he knows from his interactions with Senku and his interactions with the Kingdom of Science. But he's basically like, huh. So you have those gun weapons, and we're supposed to surrender the moment you point them at us? I don't think so. As he immediately just cuts down the bruiser who had the gun at his face. He's like, no, I don't think us Island Warriors would go down that easily, since we don't know your rules. Like a motherfucking boss, he says that, since we don't know your rules. Again, screw the rules. We're the island tribers, so you can just fuck off, you. And it ends with Mosu, Matsukaze and Ginru standing with each other as they're getting ready to battle, and that's where the chapter ends. Okay, so like with the last chapter, not really much to go off on here. It's a more quick one, but god damn, was it exciting! What was it exciting? It seems to be building up towards more of the climax of the arc without actually getting into the proper climax. Like, this is just the taster for what is actually to come before, because the final battle, we've got to see a showdown between Senku and Sinu. Also, side note, this is a crackpot theory of mine, but since Sinu looks so similar to Senku, what if Senku was actually born in America and Byakuya took him and was actually born to Sinu's parents, so making him Sinu's brother, and he actually took back and Byakuya actually took back Senku to Japan? That's just a crackpot theory I have, just because of how similar they seem to be at times, both in the looks and in the personality. Like Senku, he could be quite an arsehole at times, but his heart is in the right place. Whereas Sinu can be an arsehole, and he's basically using his arseholiness to take over the world. But aside from that, they're pretty similar. And if you look at them side to side, they do look eerily similar, too similar. But that's just a crackpot theory of mine. It's not. I'm not trying to take it serious. And if it does turn out that they're actually brothers, great. Then that's another bit of foreshadowing, because it was when when they heard Senku's voice from the Y Man at the end of Treasure arc, they hypothesized that Senku had an evil twin. Now Sinu is a little bit older than Senku, but from what I can see on the Wikia, that Sinu is in his mid-teens, not mid-teens. Sinu's in his mid-20s, and Senku is 19 at this point. So it could be anything. It could be anything. I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up. And if it does turn out, great. If it doesn't, it's not a big deal. It's just a crackpot theory that I had. But aside from that, guys, just really exciting chapter. Much better than the last chapter. And it just got me so pumped for what's going to happen next. But anyway, guys, what did you think of this chapter? Let me know. Like, subscribe, comment, join the Kontrolled Khaos Discord, all that jazz. And this will be Lash Luke signing off. Later, guys.